What's up, friends, followers? McFarland here. I'm going to give you a rundown for this week. I believe today is October the 7th, Wednesday, October 7th. As always, let's start with the board. Monday, the water temperature 71.3. When we talked last would have been Saturday. 71.6, 72.3 at the end of the day. So we're holding pretty stable on our water temperatures. The clarity, man, it really kind of varies on where you are at the lake. Most of it's really good looking water. There are some patches from time to time that turn kind of brown, yellow bubbles, almost whiskey waterish, but a majority of the lake is somewhere between a 1 foot to 2 foot visibility. Looks great. I'm on the fence of whether we're turning over, have turned over. Just because you get the methane gases, yellow bubbles, and orange water doesn't mean turnover. Turnover is when the two temperatures change. We might not have even had that happen yet, but we definitely got rid of the yucky water that happens every year. That summer, methane gases have pretty much risen from the bottom and they're gone. Lake clarity, pretty doggone good. Up in the creeks, I'm loving it. The fish just aren't there yet. Depth, lake level, I mean. Very slow fall from Monday 401.30, Tuesday 401.28, 401.26. Extremely slow rate of fall. And again, good stable stuff. Fishing for the last 10 days has been pretty tough. Almost to say ruthless is fair. There's a lot of elements going on. If you've been following, you've heard me talk about a few of them. The harvest moon, which we no longer have. The moon is in our atmosphere for the first 4 hours this morning. My client today pointed something out that I had mentioned a time or two in the last few days, but I just didn't realize how prevalent this was. And for about 10 days, we've had nothing but a huge high pressure system just sit right over us, just sitting there on us. And high pressure and bass fishing don't go well. Water already has pressure in it. The fish really feel like an elephant sitting on their chest. So that's about to change. I think by tomorrow, this high pressure is out of here. And we're going to really see fishing improve. Monday's fishing was so tough, we only caught one fish. And I caught it from a brush pile. It was about 8.5 pounds. It was a fluke. Really didn't expect it. I graphed the brush pile. I didn't see anything but a little bit of broken bait, so I thought, hey, it ain't gonna hurt. Let's throw on it. Had no idea that big fish was even in that brush pile. Today, really, the first 2 or 3 hours didn't feel any different than it's been. Ruthlessly tough. Right about 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, I did experience the fish starting to change. Not so much us, but the elements started to change, and the fish actually started kind of chasing some bait. You could see some schooling things happen, and there was some life, there was some movement, there were shad flickers, and we actually did catch some fish. No size to the fish today, but the bite started to really come around. We got a half a dozen bites on one spot, which is good. The Berkeley tournament coming, they were all good Berkeley fish. Maybe money fish, maybe not. But definitely coming around. And I suspect the next few days, again, high pressure out of here. Pretty good looking stable weather for the next 10 days. Maybe a little more rain coming this weekend, a thunderstorm or two. Doesn't look anything bad. And that'll be due to that tropical storm that's going to come in. Hopefully it's not another hurricane. But let me tell you what we caught the fish on today. One bait is going to be really beneficial here in the Berkeley because it is a Berkeley bait. It's basically a Berkeley 8-inch power worm red shad. I assume you could use some other colors. Red shad is one of my favorites, but you could probably use a purple. You could probably use blue fleck, multiple colors to vary from. But the 8-inch Texas rigged, 1/4 ounce weight, pegged, 20-pound test on a McFarland's signature real-time rod, 1225, 20-pound test in case you do hook into that big fish. and a Daiwa Tatula 7-3 gear ratio. I recommend that if you really start throwing this worm a lot, as a guide, I'm looking for the slot fish and the big fish. So the 20-pound test is pretty much mandatory for me in case we get into some really big ones. If you're fishing this Berkeley tournament, I really recommend you go ahead and go down to about 15. The bait will fish a little better. You'll probably get bit a little more often. And again, also you can then put smaller baits. If I was to go down to the little 7-inch or a small creature bait on here, that 20-pound test makes this a bit heavy. And you can also go a little lighter weight. So if you're fishing the Berkeley, don't be afraid to just go a little lighter than I have on this particular rig. Okay, the fish are very shallow. The fish we caught today were between 4 and 8 feet, and potentially even shallower than 4 feet. But most of the bites came between 4 and 8 feet. It was about equal. They took the power worm, the 8-inch power worm, just as well as they ate the impact shad, Watermelon Magic Red, 5-inch impact shad on a Carolina rig, but it's my finesse Carolina rig. Okay, so it's a little shorter leader. It's only about a 3-foot leader in this case. Usually I don't even do that. Most of the time I'll go about 18 inches. I want a little longer leader because there's a little more suspension. I'm seeing the fish up off the bottom and not on the bottom. The more they're off the bottom, the more they're moving around, and the more I want a little bit longer leader, more time for them to see that bait fall. Okay, what am I throwing this one on? Real-time rods, MB 7'3", 10-20. Okay, McFarland's signatures are added. This is my perfect finesse rod. It's a 4-power, so I can still handle the big ones. 15-pound line, 1/2-ounce egg sinker, pegged. Okay, so it don't slide around. I got a little bead to protect the knot on a swivel. And like I said, about 3 feet of leader line. That leader line is 12-pound test. It's a little bit lighter. On one of the spots today, they really got all over this bait. And I mean, I think I had 2 or 3 back-to-back. That bait right there is something you can't use in the Berkeley, but you can certainly use the rig and come up with your own Berkeley baits behind it. All right. It's going to be the key to catch the numbers, in my opinion. The fish are schooled up pretty good. They're chasing the shad pretty good. I fish that ball and chain, that finesse Carolina rig, like a jerk bait. I do not just pull it. I lift and check. Anybody there? No one's there. Smack, smack. I want to make that bait dart just like a weightless fluke, but it's attached to a ball and chain, so it goes down deeper than the weightless fluke would all by itself. So think weightless fluke presentation attached to a ball and chain. Now listen, check the bait, slide it just enough to feel, is he there? Is he swimming with it? Do I feel weight? No weight, snap, snap. Again, repeat. Check, no weight, no fish, snap, snap. Okay, that's what gets these fish on the impact shad and the finesse Carolina rig. All right, that's my rundown, guys. Stay with it, man. Fishing is fishing. We say this all the time. When it's really, really good and you're catching them all the time, prepare for it to go downhill and get tough. When it's really, really tough and you're not catching them all the time, prepare for it to go uphill. There's no other way to go. So we're about ready to experience some really good fall fishing. Hopefully we're right on time for the Berkeley event next week. Don't forget, thumbs up if you like the show. Comment below anything. I'd love to hear your comments. Next Tuesday, it's my last available day. If you need to be shown around for Berkeley, hit me up. Tuesday is still available. I would love to show you around. All right, that's pretty much it. I'm Mike McFarland, the Lake Fork Guide, giving you a Lake Fork rundown for October. Thanks for watching.